You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host Hunter here. Happy, well, by the time you listen to this, it'll be Saturday. So happy Saturday from the past. I'm really excited today. I have actress. I really hope I get your name right. Please don't kill me if I don't. Serra Naiman. Am I saying that right?
It's Naiman, but you know what? I think 90% of people say Naaman, and like 10 years ago, I stopped correcting people. And it can be whatever anyone wants it to be at this point.
I got your first name right though.
Yes, yes.
All right, half credit. Sarah, how are you today?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I'm really happy to be here. How are you?
I'm really well. The week's flying by already. I can't believe it's already Tuesday, um,
Oh,
but again, I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm just gonna jump in here.
yeah.
So I talked to Jeff earlier this week. He was an absolute delight, and he had just glowing praise for you and in your portrayal of Ingrid, as do I. I've already reviewed the film. I thought you were absolutely fantastic in it. Talk to me about the first time you read the script and like what kind of headspace you started to kind of put together as far as being able to get this portrayal.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to remember because these things take so long. This was about 3.5 years ago now. I read the sides first, and I loved the sides, the audition sides, and they were quite lengthy. I'm sure you saw the film, so you know that I talked for a very long
Hmm.
time at one point, and the sides were I think there were 9 pages of audition sides
Oh,
of
damn.
solid monologue. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was blown away by this monologue, and it was so fun. And I read it a couple times, and then I was like, okay, well, this girl is clearly down on her luck, and she's a little, she's street savvy, and she's got a bit of, like, drug in the past. So what I did was, when I woke up the next morning, I just still wearing like what I was sleeping in. I didn't do my hair. I just sat up on my bed and I recorded, and I had like a really raspy morning voice, and I just recorded myself doing the monologue like that. And then and he loved it. And so that's kind of like I tried to stick as close to that as possible. I think the more when I read the full script and I learned more about Ingrid, I like took her a little further away from quite so gravelly and gruff and gave her a bit more of a colored background. But yeah, that's where I entered with her for sure.
Now, you said it already. The film is extremely dialogue heavy.
Yes.
And you have a lot of said dialogue. I love the way that you worked with Claire. I thought
Oh,
I interviewed her a couple days ago, and she was just absolutely delightful. And she had, again, nothing but praise for you. Um, talk to
oh,
me.
I always refer to Claire as she's an angel from a different planet. She's somehow an
Oh,
alien, but she's also of a creature of God. Like she's just such a presence. I love Claire.
so yeah, talk to me about work. So Jeff had mentioned that you, Claire, and Brian were like living together like right before
Hmm.
the shoot. Yeah, talk to me about that experience because like when he said it, I was like he kind of threw it out nonchalant. I was like, whoa, back up! Like that's really interesting to me. Like so, talk to me about like that process and how that really helped your camaraderie because it really comes across on screen.
Oh gosh, so we were all living in different places when we got cast in this, and so we really didn't have a we met up a couple times. I want to say 2 times in person, and then maybe twice on Zoom to read through the script. And then we all arrived in Vegas, and then we all lived together immediately. Um, and it was just I've never had an experience where you go into and this is including the whole crew and cast and extended everyone. I've never gone into a shoot or a situation where there's not a sour there's no one sour in the bunch, right? Like there's no, like every single person was just so lovely and we all clicked right away. And for me, Claire and Brian, um, the way I choose to bond with people is I really like doing jigsaw puzzles. So I showed up the first
Nice.
night in Vegas and I pulled out a 3,000 piece jigsaw puzzle that I
Holy
brought for
crap.
us to do.
Wait,
So, or
oh,
oh, excuse me, it
well,
was 2,000 pieces.
okay, never mind. Wait, what was
But
the puzzle? What was the puzzle?
it was just a bunch of little animals. It was this giant a bunch of little cartoon animals. And so what we did was every single night leading up to the shoot and then pretty much every single night until the last day, we would come home from set and we would sit around the puzzle and we would have wine and dinner and talk to each other while we were doing the puzzle. And then the oh my gosh, I think I might cry when I say this. And then the morning when we were all leaving to go to the airport, we had finished it the night before the cast party. And then the next morning we all broke it apart together and I recorded us breaking it all apart
Oh,
together. But so that is just kind of like how we started the friendship, but there was never tension. There was never anything negative. Brian brought a guitar and we all would pass it around and play guitar all the time because we all play music. And I feel like these people are going to be in my life forever now. And we always joke about how we want to hire Jeff to find our friends for us going forward because he did such a good job.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I talked to since you brought it up, I actually talked to Claire about it because I noticed she had a guitar in her place, and I'm a huge music person. As someone who plays, like, are you just playing guitar or do you play other instruments or?
So I mainly play piano. I did piano all growing up, and then I started guitar in high school. And then as of 5 years ago, I picked up the banjo.
Nice.
I'm yeah, my dad has played banjo for 60 plus years, and my sister's a fiddle player, and we all play bluegrass. We all go to bluegrass festivals together. And my whole life, I kind of was trying to rebel and do more piano and not play bluegrass. And then finally 4 years ago, I was like, you know what? This is really the best music there is. I'm going to join the cult. So I learned banjo. So now I play with them now.
I love that. Are you writing music as well, or is it just something kind of like leisurely, or like would you ever put out an
I
album or?
No, I've written some piano music, but the banjo is really I have no interest in, having shows or anything. It's just a bonding. Like when I find out someone else plays an instrument, I'm always like, let's play together. It's just a way to bond with people on a different level. And I never think of doing shows or playing in public. It's just really like a a tool to steal friends. It's just a sneaky way to make friends as an adult.
Fair. So as far as Ingrid as a character, I found myself really mad at her, but like captivated by her, but then also just being like, girl, what are you doing? Was there
Mhm.
was there anything I love the scene that you have with Ivy where you're just talking sitting on like the park bench and you're just kind of as Jeff put it, kind of in this feeling out process, kind of seeing where the other is emotionally and trying to kind of like find that kind of common ground. Um, I feel like that's the most dialogue heavy scene that you have, or at least one of them. Kind of talk to me about that scene and like how you kind of approach each scene, because as the movie, no spoilers, goes on, it obviously gets more intense through the dialogue. But yeah, kind of talk to me about that scene in particular.
Are you referring to the park bench scene with me and Claire,
Yes,
or
yes.
okay, yeah. Well, that's kind of where well, I will say first, going off of something you said, I didn't it's not that I didn't like Ingrid at first, but I kind of was like, oh, well, yeah, why are you making these choices? Like, and I had to find how to love her because I don't know, not everybody loves themselves, but I think so, like, as a character, she didn't have to love herself, but I think as an actor, you kind of have to love to a degree who you're playing so you
Agreed.
don't give up on them. Um, so yeah, that was the first glimpse into her life and what she's been through. And so that scene leading into the following monologues, you really just see a person who has felt second best all her life, and and she can't get she can't get first place even with her parents, like she's second to her sister. And she just was designed to not have any faith in herself. And you kind of learn that through all of her monologues. And that's when I was like, oh, now I can love her because she doesn't have any faith in herself. So me as someone who loves her, I have to have extra faith in her. So I want her to carry on.
Mm, I like that
I don't know if
approach.
I explained that well at
No, no,
all.
you did. um I will say, one of the things that I found heartbreaking was the way you portray her self-doubt, because even when things are going, are starting to improve, you still feel like that's kind of hanging over her head. And I think the way you especially convey that through your facial expressions, especially at the dinner scene, I thought was really well done on your part. Um, was there anything real life that you were able to kind of pull from to go ahead and get into certain um headspaces? In particular, I thought the scene where and it's a subtle thing that you did, but like the genuine excitement you had that when you were able to just find a washing machine that worked. Like I was just like, oh wow, like that's such a like that's such a subtle thing that a lot of people wouldn't think about. But the way you're like, you convey this like, oh my gosh, they have a washer and dryer that I can use. I can actually wash my stuff. Like, um, yeah, was there any I just realized I completely lost the question. Yeah, I
No,
completely lost the question.
yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, pulling from life for that the dramatic scene, and then just as small as the washing machine reaction. I definitely, well, for the washing machine, I backpack a lot, so my family and I will go backpacking for like 10 days at a time, and I know what it's like to not have had a shower for 10 days.
Mm,
So I think for that specific scene, I was probably pulling from that. Um, but I've moved a lot, especially with COVID. I had been spending the last few years moving quite a bit and not really having a home. And I think when you're in your late 20s, not to give away my age, but I'm beyond my late 20s, you have to relearn what home means, and you learn that it's not so much a physical place, it's home is other people, or that's what I'm starting to learn.
yeah.
And so having Ingrid feel like she had finally found a home and then losing it immediately. Oh, I don't want to give everything away. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
I
yeah.
almost gave away something.
Careful, careful.
She didn't, no, nothing's lost, nothing at
Yeah,
all. Wait, let
yeah,
me back up. You can cut this out.
pay no attention, pay no attention.
So, hypothetically speaking, if she had thought she had found a home and then it turned out to be a little different than what she expected, I think I can relate to that a lot because I thought I had found a home, for example, right before COVID, and then that just upended me, and I had to move somewhere else and across the country. And it's it was very emotional to not to feel like you don't have a home. For me personally, is was a very emotional journey, and I felt like I tried to pull from that a lot for Ingrid as well. And she also is a liar because she's seems very comfortable not having a home, but I think deep down she's not. But I think she's even at times she fools herself that like this is the life she's chosen. She's very happy with this,
Yeah.
but I think she's really truly not.
When it comes to when it comes to that element, and I'll say for myself, like COVID was really hard on me, obviously, because I'm very much someone who likes to like talk to people in person, and having that taken
Yeah.
away was really shitty. When it comes to the whole home aspect, as someone who's closer to 40 than they are to 30, I will I completely relate to the whole like not having a home aspect and kind of having to redefine what that is. Jeff talked about it as far as shooting this film with COVID and everything going on. What were the like the demands, and what were the kind of the any frustrations or anything like as far as shooting around that whole pandemic? Like how did you kind of manage that?
It was actually a little easier than I thought. Well, of course, our crew was so small, and then there were only three of us there every day, and sometimes not all three of us were there. So that actor wise, so that felt very relaxed. We did film at the Strat in on the Strip one day, And you know what? I don't remember anyone wearing masks. I feel like we were already through. Maybe it was just like the Las Vegas mentality where people don't go there to wear masks and be careful.
Yeah.
People go there to be as daring as possible. Um, I don't remember it having much of an effect. Although to go back on everything I just said, the weeks leading up to the shoot, I was so scared I was going to get COVID. And I remember the first few days after landing in Vegas, I was like, I don't even want to take a COVID test because if I got it on the plane and I have COVID, it just ruins this entire and I was
Mm.
just like, should I lie on my COVID test? Which I didn't, Jeff. I didn't lie on my COVID test. But it was just like that was the most stressful part was not wanting to get it before the shoot.
We're coming up on time, so I've got two more quick questions for you.
Sure.
With your portrayal, without giving anything away, I really love the hero's journey that your character goes on. And while in the last third, I'll say shit gets crazy. Like there was something that actually happened that I went, holy shit, and it actually scared my cats. And I'm pretty sure you know what I'm referring to, but like that stuff gets rather intense. But your character in particular, I love where she ends up because I think you can interpret it multiple ways. I think there is this kind of like damn sort of aspect to it, but then there's also this hopeful aspect to it. Like obviously you playing the character, like where do you kind of land out as far as where Ingrid ends up and what her journey could potentially look like moving forward without obviously
Without
dancing around
giving it away.
spoilers. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think it's two ways, right? So as someone who's not her, who's watching her make the decisions she makes, it's very sad. Um, and I disagree with the decisions she makes, but coming from her as her, I think she believes in her heart of hearts that she's made the right decision and that feels good to see. So as much as you're like, no, why did you do that? You're also like, well, this is what you wanted. So, and some people are just doomed to wander and
Yeah.
I feel like she makes peace with that to a certain degree. But something is also like I'm having a lot of trouble answering that question, and that just makes me really commend Jeff on his writing because there's so many different ways you can feel about it and
Absolutely.
there is no correct way to feel about it even as her so yeah, I think it's okay for people to walk away being like I don't know if that was good or not.
Yeah, I actually watched this twice, and actually on the second viewing, I was actually even more kind of like, "Damn, I don't know how to feel about this." So I think that's actually a really good thing. Um, Last question for you, and this is typically how I end all my interviews. Um, I really like, as I said, where this ends up. I think audiences are going to have a lot of like fun discussions about what this film has to say and what these characters have to say and what these characters represent. Is there a certain message or anything that you would want people to take away from this film once the credits go ahead and start to roll?
Oh my gosh, that's a big question. Watch, I take 5 minutes trying to answer. Let's see. I do. Something. There's something to be said in echoing what we were talking about earlier about home being other people. Um, oh no, I'm pausing too long. It's a podcast. People are going to get
Oh,
anxious.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I'll edit this. It's
I think, yeah, finding home in other people and just not giving up on yourself, I think is a big one. And yeah, maybe I'll leave it at that. I'm trying to not give anything
I
away at
know
the
it's
same time.
hard. I
Because
honestly I think that's
there's
perfect.
okay, great. I won't spoil anything.
Yeah, no, I think that's a perfect way to put it. Um, Sarah, thank you so much for making the time. I really appreciate it. This was genuinely a joy.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the time. This was so fun.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that. If you could please tell people like where they can find you on socials and then where they can find the film when it does come out, before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, so the film, oh God, Jeff's gonna kill me. I don't have the dates pulled up in front of me and the
Ooh.
locations. But I know for a fact me, Claire, and Brian and Jeff will all be in New York on July 5th for the New York premiere. Um, oh, he's gonna kill me. I don't remember the name of the theater, but we're gonna be there. And then
I'm gonna tell
a
Jeff on
couple,
you.
yeah, oh my gosh, he's gonna be so mad. And then a couple days before in Vegas, is it the 26th or the 28th of June, the Vegas premiere? And I believe Claire will be there. I don't know if Brian will be there, and I unfortunately won't. But New York, July 5th. We're all gonna be there. Come on down. And then after that, it'll be hitting Los Angeles and a couple more places. Um, oh my gosh, sorry, Jeff. And then where you can find me, I'm on Instagram. Serra Serra dot Naiman, Naiman is my Instagram handle. Very, very far departure from Ingrid. I do mainly comedy writing and sketch comedy, so
Oh, right on. Okay.
it'll be different. But that is me.
Sarah, again, thank you so much for making the time. I really hope this film does well. And like I said, I thought you were an absolutely amazing in it. Hope this
Thank
plays well on the
you.
circuits and everything. I hope you have fun in New York and Vegas during insert dates here. And again, and again, thanks for making the time and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.